Hello all! How's it going, everybody? Please forgive me if there's any, lag going on my end, any buffering. I don't know what's going on. My internet has been really bad up here in the past, like, week or so. I don't know what the deal is, but whatever the case, there's going to be some sort of buffering on your end today, so I apologize for that. VOD viewers, probably won't affect y'all too much, but I don't know. It's it's a struggle, there's nothing there's nothing like being a VTuber and having the typical internet connection scuff in it. But in any case, how have you guys been? How's y'all's weeks been going? I've been, trying to hang in there and do all right as I can. Put the finishing touches on my second glam metal deep dive, and spoiler alert for probably the announcements I'm gonna make either tomorrow or Tuesday. It's coming. I'm probably going to premiere the deep dive next weekend because, Jesus Christ, I just came to the end of it basically today. I still have like a few more things left to tweak in like the credits and, obviously some voice inserts I need to record, smooth over some audio flubs or what have you. But other than that, it's pretty much ready. So I hope you all are looking forward to it. I hope you're all really excited because it is... I won't say my most ambitious project to date, but definitely one of my most thorough. But yeah, no, that's going on. What else? I've been playing. I recently had a rehearsal this week with one of my bands in the city, right? Trying to play somewhere a bit closer to me, because they all, unfortunately, they live in Brooklyn, right? So I've had to sort of reconfigure my commute down to our, regular rehearsal space, which is a bit further in than I might like. So I tried to get them to compromise and go a bit further up towards, like the tip of, like one of the tips of Brooklyn, near the Brooklyn Bridge, essentially. Trying to get them to do a rehearsal space there. So we did. We rehearsed in a studio over there just this past Tuesday, and it was a really weird situation. It was like a building that was a combination of storage space and like a bunch of rehearsal studios. I think they even had like a gym on one floor, but very weird situation all around. They asked for my fucking ID or whatever before they let us up into the rehearsal. It was weird. But I'm glad to have had that experience at least once. If I have to still say if I have to still rehearse in Brooklyn, so be it. But all that being said, I think we can get into our guest of the evening today, right? I found this person just sort of asking last time's guest, Akiko Kumagara. I typically, it's a little bit of behind the scenes for you guys here. I typically like to ask my guests if they have any other like music VTuber friends that they think would go well on the program, and so I kind of branch out from there and explore guest options. But I'm glad to welcome on my guest for the evening, a friend of Akiko's. They are a punk rock DJ Chimera VTuber that's heavily into Vocaloid, and they also have quite the extensive regular music taste as far as, they like metal, they like pop punk, they like pop, they like K-pop, they like, all sorts of the modern musics that I might not particularly have an ear towards, but I'm curious to discuss nonetheless. Would you all please welcome V Mayhem? Well, that's an intro. Welcome to the stream.
Hi! Hi, everybody!
something that is everything okay? Were you not expecting me to jump in there?
Oh yeah, no. So I was actually following you along on your stream,
Oh.
and then all of a sudden you just like you popped up on like on Discord, and it was like.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair. The doubled resi's gonna get you. Welcome Lunar Shift to the stream. That is Akiko's Kumagara's band, musical project, what have you. And welcome Deerfish.
Lunar.
I would like to report that V is Tree. Are you Tree?
Yup. Keep in mind, with my community, they like to either believe that I'm either a bird or a tree.
Well, you're
according to them, I'm a chimera, which is comprised of multiple different things.
Of course,
and so they like to say, "Oh, you're a mixture between a cat, a tree, and a bird."
Oh man.
In all actuality, I just use chimera because I can't legally use the word displacer beast for YouTubing.
Yeah. I started the tree part. Oh, I see. It's like a community in joke. I dig.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the stream.
Hi, Kiko.
Welcome to the stream. I'm glad to have you on. Usually I like to start off my talk streams just sort of opening the floor to my guests, right? So I'm curious to know what sort of sparked your passion for music, right? Because it's one thing to, sort of listen to music casually on the side and have it as like your mood, daily life soundtrack or what have you. But it's an entirely different thing to, not only be a VTuber, but also a VTuber that does their own sort of, music on the side. Like I hear you're quite into Vocaloid.
Yes.
So I guess talk about where that all stemmed from.
One thing that definitely stemmed from it was that I've always wanted to learn how to play music, but I did not grow up in an environment that just would not let me.
That's unfortunate.
I'm the eldest of like 3 kids who grew up in a pretty poor family, in which one of those kids needed to go to the hospital quite often.
Yeah.
And so my only way of actually performing and stuff like music and whatnot was the choir, as a kid. And my mom was like, "Hey, V, honey, I'm not going to pay $200 for you to go into choir in high school. So I'm just going to use that $200 and I'm going to pay for your sister's sports needs."
I'm sorry to hear that.
So, yeah. It's fine. She and I both reconciled over that fact. She realizes it was a mistake because not even 2 years after that, my sister broke her arm and was disqualified from varsity cheerleading.
Yeah. Man.
So, yeah.
Well, at the very least, you had that experience. I was also a choir kid myself, actually, back in, I guess kind of elementary school. But then, especially high school, I really got into it. It's fun, getting to get... Because you pointed out something really interesting. You don't really need an instrument for choir. It's a very cost-effective way of getting involved in music. At least that's how I sparked my it's weird. It was my upbringing was kind of a multitudinous combination of things between being obsessed with video game soundtracks as a kid, picking up violin at a young age, and then later ditching that for choir, and then also playing the Rock Band Guitar Hero games. It was a weird mixture of things for me.
For me, actually, the first thing I wanted to learn how to play was a violin. And I had actually gotten a violin for my 5th birthday.
Oh
But
yeah.
because my parents could not afford the violin lessons, uh, we kind of had to keep it in storage for as many years as it was until I moved out.
Ah, okay.
Um, but as to how I got involved in like Vocaloid specifically, in like 2022, so like
Sure.
2022, I met up with a Miku cover artist. I don't want to say their name specifically just because I no longer am affiliated with said creator.
Sure.
But they were known for their very talented Miku tuning. And so I was like, oh wait, that's cool. Maybe I'll do art, and maybe hopefully one day I'll have art that shows up on their channel.
Oh yeah.
Well, and then her best friend at the time, who I now consider a pretty good friend in Vocaphilia, or Ophelia as I'm going to refer to her. Ophelia gave me a copy of a now decrepit form of Vocaloid called Vocaloid 4, which, for all the Vocaloid nerds that could potentially be watching this right now, Vocaloid 4 is widely considered the most popular form of the Vocaloid software to use.
Yeah, sorry, dear fish. I was saying ahead of time, this stream's probably going to be pretty laggy. I apologize.
Sorry.
It's not your fault. It's
yeah.
I don't know. My internet's just been
My favorite Vocaloid of all time, which is V4 Flower, which you don't hear too much of on the English scene unless you're talking about covers specifically. I love V4 Flower's tone. I love that she is probably the loudest voice bank that can operate in the V4 system.
Yeah. You see, that's the thing, I've heard so many, I mean, I'm not that knowledgeable, admittedly, in the Vocaloid community. I've definitely heard a bunch about it over the years, but I'm only ever really familiar with, like, the bigger mascots, the Mikus and the Rins and the Lens and the, whatever that, the red-haired drill girl is that Tito, or?
Tito. Yeah.
Tito.
So, when it comes to like voice banks like Miku and Rin and Len, those are what we consider the Kryptonloids. They are voice banks made by the company Krypton Future Media.
I see.
And we called them Kryptonloids because for a while, they decided to leave the Vocaloid system and build their own program called Pia Pro.
Oh,
which,
interesting.
For my Vocaloid and Tube fans, Pia Pro is also an area where you can put in, not necessarily put in, but you can find producers off vocals in there sometimes. One of my favorite covers that I have on my YouTube channel right now is First, which is a song by the producer Nikki. I was able to find the off vocal for First just by hopping onto Pia Pro, and I now have a -4 octave down key version of that song, as well as a C major key version.
I see. What's your favorite of the covers that you've done on your channel? I mean, I'm not too knowledgeable, admittedly, of the Vocaloid canon, but I guess elucidate me on that.
There really isn't a lot of Vocaloid canon. More so it.
Well, I know the producers.
In a sense of words. Oh, in terms of producers, my absolute favorite is Deco Nina. I'm a very basic bitch when it comes to that. I love Deco Nina, but specifically for his older songs, I'd love the rock style that he specifically used.
I see.
To best put it simply, songs like Streaming Heart and Anti-Beat are like probably some of my favorite songs to date.
Mm-hmm.
And his are pretty good. Like Telepathy, I think it was Telepathy. Monitoring is also really good. But they just do not have the same style as the older songs like Anti-Beat, Streaming Heart, Ghost Rule.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I'm only ever really familiar with, the big ones, I'd say. The things that go viral in the VTuber community.
Oh, yeah.
Like your
Mesmerizer.
kings and your melts and your etceteras.
Yeah. And those are indeed very popular in the Vocaloid community as well. But honestly, like, listening to a lot of Vocaloid music, there are definitely a lot more standouts than just Aishite or Hibana or stuff like that. Hibana's really good. It's not my personal favorite Deco song, and I really do not like the reloaded version. It's just it doesn't have the same punch as the original. But anyways, back on topic of my
you're
personal
good.
favorite Vocaloid cover. Let me take a look because I know I definitely have a few like standouts.
Yeah, if it's like picking your favorite child, feel free to do multiple. I don't know. I have to apologize. I didn't get the chance beforehand to really dig into your covers because I've just been working like hell on this video I'm making. But
oh yeah, no, you are a-okay. I think I just really liked the mixing I did on that. Yowamushi Mont Blanc Reloaded is also, that one's my most recent one. That one's also a really good one. I just really love Ichi. Ichi is so good. Other than that, I have to say Wave or Abnormality Dancing Girl. Funny story with that cover, actually. Going back off topic. When I first covered that, I was only expecting for that cover specifically to get like 20 or so views on the first day. That cover got 200 views within the first day, just because I used the same voice bank. I used the same voice bank as seen in the original song. I just tuned Flower differently.
I see. I'll have to check those out at some point. I always like, even if I'm not the most knowledgeable about Vocaloid, I always love seeing producers go absolutely bug shit in a programming software,
Yeah. It's honestly really fun. I do honestly consider it my current form of instrumentation, and honestly, thanks to learning some of the stems that I've been able to find from these songs, I'm actually currently learning how to produce my first original song.
That's cool. How did Vocaloid influence your production style?
I guess it just really matched up with the kind of songs I've always wanted to like hear. Because keep in mind, like until I finally realized the kind of like genre I wanted to like fully listen to, I was your stereotypical nightcore emo girl. So all I would do was just play nothing but nightcore and like dance EDM stuff. And it would annoy the shit out of my mom and dad. Because they would just go like, why the fuck are you listening to these chipmunk-ass songs? Like, can you listen to anything normal for once? And I was like, no.
Hey, I've always found I've always found nightcore funny, but I can't really judge because I love fucking vaporwave. So.
No, vaporwave. But anyways, after I turned 16, I was like, okay, I love nightcore, and I love like dance EDM stuff. but I might want to actually start diversifying my music taste.
Right.
And the first thing that came up was Fall Out Boy's Thanks for the Memory.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah,
that's where the rock influence started coming in.
I see. You you sent me a list of like some of your favorite artists and whatnot before stream, and I noticed, it leans very heavily into metal and pop punk, but you also have a lot of love for like global musics too. Like, I see some Western pop like Lady Gaga, I see some K-pop. What's the history there?
When it comes to Lady Gaga, I've just always loved her music. Like, if I recall correctly, the first song I actually remember ever hearing was Bad Romance by Lady Gaga. And
wow, the first song you ever remember hearing?
Yeah.
Jeez, you're fucking young. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, like, I'm only 24.
Oh my god. Sorry, keep going.
But, I've also, like, a lot of her current stuff, too. Like, I've been addicted to Abracadabra for the past month or so.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, when did Abracadabra release? Let me double check.
It's been a few months, I'm sure, but...
Yeah.
Man,
it released 3 months ago. Yeah, I was definitely addicted to it for, like, at least a month.
Hey, I mean, I definitely dig Gaga, too. If anything, I think Gaga was the first pop artist to really get me to step back and, remove myself from my anti-pop, I was born in the wrong generation sort of early inclinations.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I was that way for a while, but with Nightcore, I was like, oh, God, I hate pop so much. This is way too slow for me. Play Nightcore, Just a Dream, if I ever want to feel emotional.
How is... I do wonder how is Nightcore like born in the wrong generation though, when technically Nightcore is like is that just like how pop's gonna sound in like 10 years? I mean, given the proliferation of hyperpop, I do not doubt that, but
I mean, hyperpop is pretty good. I know a few hyperpop producers actually that, I like some of their stuff. It's pretty good. Not my kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
it is very maximalist.
Yeah, but what I will say is that Nightcore seemed to have its roots started in like the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, yeah.
If I recall correctly. Because if I recall correctly, if I'm wrong, I very much apologize for any misinformation.
Oh, no. I definitely ought to look into this, too.
But apparently, in regards to, like, the popular version that people assume, like, will listen to when it comes to, like, the song Caramel Dancin', that its Nightcore version came up, I think, either in the late 90s or early aughts.
Oh, right. Because it was originally a Finnish song, right? That got sped up, or?
It was either Finnish or Swedish.
It was Swedish, yeah. It could. I don't know. I remember.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
And someone made a remix, and then accidentally sped up the vocals by like 20%, and then decided to pair that with a faster version of his instrumental, and bada bing bada boom, that's how you get Nightcore, baby.
and weebs everywhere rejoiced.
Exactly.
So I guess like how's this sort of your approach to like music, like, you know, combining like all your influences and whatnot, how's like that most affected your songwriting, would you say? Do you kind of go for a kitchen sink approach, or do you have a I don't know. Are you deliberate with your genre fusions?
Since I don't have a lot of original music myself to base this off of quite yet, I'm still kind of learning my approach.
You're finding your own sounds.
Yeah, but from what I can see from right now, it seems like my current approach is I study specific stems of like the kind of genre I want to build. Like currently, the first song that I'm working on, you know, my first original, I'm drawing a lot from specifically the original version of Yowamushi Mont Black, as well as like shoegaze, because I also really love shoegaze.
Oh yeah, shoegaze is dope.
So what I've got so far is something that kind of feels like it came out of like a cassette tape. And I'm honestly really vibing with that track right now. And
hey, that's great.
And one of the Vocaloid servers that I admin for, Cat Nation, has officially declared that I must use a voice bank called Ultimachi Una for that one. So we'll see how that goes.
Interesting.
Yeah. And just for like more keen viewers on the stream right now, the reason they're suggesting Ultimachi Una is only because there's a specific cover of the song Melt that went off because someone by the name of Chilia, or like Chila, or better known as Kiami, used Ultimachi Una's Vocaloid 4 voice bank for that cover, and just she's a VTuber rigger actually now.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
you gotta love that
she's
overlapping
like a very
communities.
popular. Yeah, like she's actually really popular VTuber rigger now. Like
Very
she's
neat.
rigged for Doki, she's rigged for Mint.
Wow.
And yeah.
Yeah, God. Melts in general, I mean, that's just an insane song to me. The vocal the vocal synth, at least the notes it hits, and then to hear it replicated by actual like VTuber vocalists, it's just like the most insane, mind-blowing shit to me every time.
Yeah, no, Melt is honestly an incredible song. Rio did a phenomenal job with that, and it's kind of sad that after songs like Melt and World is Mine, that Rio stepped away from Vocaloid music entirely.
Yeah.
Because, you know, just from like Melt alone, he became popular enough to, you know, write songs for like anime.
Yeah.
Without the need for Vocaloids.
And that's, you know, fucking amazing. That's the thing that always gets me about the Vocaloid community, is how many legit, like, music producers it's created from people just, you know, doing this as a hobby in their spare time because, hey, cute anime girls.
Yeah. Although I will say, when Yamaha first made Vocaloid, like, with its first iteration...
Oh, yeah.
They had no intention of tying it with like anime-esque characters and whatnot. Like their first ever voice banks were a pair of just random like one female and one male voice bank that if I recall correctly, one was called Leon, and then I don't remember the female one.
Interesting.
At all. I'll have to search her up at some point.
Yeah.
But then Krypton came in and was like, hey, I have 2 voice banks that I would like to put on your system. They're called Mako and Kaito. And you're probably asking, hey, why did I not mention Miku? And that's because Miku did not come out on the first iteration of Vocaloid. And even then, Mako and Kaito were not enough to sway the first version of Vocaloid's like design of just standard voice synthesis. And then Vocaloid 2 happened and Krypton came out with Miku.
And then she just stole everybody's fucking thunder.
And the thing is... Exactly, because specifically what got Miku, like, as popular as she was today, was specifically her license. And that's because her license is fairly freeform. Like, yeah, she does have some rules, like, of course, don't pirate, don't emulate, you know, keep it safe, even though there's so many Vocaloid songs regarding, you know, stuff I probably should not be mentioning on stream.
But generally, like, her voice was a lot more open, you know, license, and allowed, like, yeah, I guess allowed for greater proliferation across the internet.
Yeah.
See, that's the sort of stuff I always love, you know, whenever people choose to make their softwares, I mean, not even just open source, but, like, you know, just try to share it as widely as possible. That's what the internet is for, baby.
And, you know, she also came out at around the time the internet was really starting to take off, you know, at around, like, 2007, 2008, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
You know, for... At the time, you know, more hobbyists were entering the scene because of worldwide recession.
Yeah. Web 2.0 was a weird era.
Yeah. And it spurred a lot. It spurred a lot more activity with Krypton specifically, which is why Rin and Len. They came out shortly after Miku did, and, you know, they followed the same license thing that Miku did, and then Krypton updated Mako and Kaito's licenses so that they also had the same kind of license as Miku. And then they stopped making voice speaks because they released Luca, who is widely considered to be the worst selling Kryptonoid, unfortunately.
Oh, yeesh.
Which is really sad. She has such a beautiful voice, like, But they stopped things after her because she flopped pretty badly.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So kind of pivoting back to, you know, you mentioned you've done choir before. Do you still sing, like, yourself?
Somewhat, but since the last time I was in a choir, that was 8th grade for me.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a lot. That was, like, back in, like, 2013, 2014?
Yeah, it's been a while.
About 10 years. Yeah. But I am starting the process of getting vocal training again.
Oh, that's nice. Have you considered doing, like, karaoke streams and whatnot?
Oh, absolutely. I just, right now, I kind of need a little bit more assets in order to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But, hopefully within the next year, I should be able to.
That's good. We've come a long way from the times YouTube videos were restricted to 10 minutes each. And thank God, because I wouldn't have a fucking career on here without it. I mean, not to say I have, this is a career or anything. This is more a hobby.
Yeah.
But fucking The urge to just dump all of your thoughts on something in, like, a 4-hour deep dive video.
Dude, yes, like lately I've been like addicted to watching the channel 12 Tone.
Oh yeah.
Just because I love his insight into, popular music.
Oh yeah,
Like,
he's
one of my
got some great
favorites is
stuff.
his. Yeah, one of my favorite analyses that he did was of, I'm pretty sure it was Holiday.
Green Day?
He analyzed Holiday around the. Yeah. He analyzed it back in November, and it was so good to watch.
I think I saw the most recent videos of his I've seen. I think he did a great analysis of like AC/DC's Highway to Hell that I was into. But then also like he did this really interesting experiment where he listened to like Hot to Go for like 30 days in a row and like tried to explore it from all sorts of different like listening angles. I wish I had the patience for that, man. Like, I wish I could just sit down and tunnel in on a song for 30 days like that, but shit's exhausting.
And I've actually been using, his analysis, his analysis videos as a way to actually further my own, like, understanding of music production.
Oh, awesome.
Within reference to his analysis of the song "Sweet Dreams Are Made of These." I learned that with the drum pattern specifically in that song, that there is a tom at the start of every like fourth kick, and so I decided to see how that would sound on the song I'm currently working on right now, which I'm giving it the title of Cassette Heart for the time being. And it sounds so good. Definitely recommend trying it out. Because it gives the kick a sort of like deeper feeling, and you can tell that it's not just the kick, but also like you can, if you mix the tom well, you can barely tell it's there, but it kind of also acts like a standard like bass or like sort of. They did a lot of really fun. It's like ear candy.
They did a lot of really funky stuff with like drum sounds in the 80s. Like that was also the era of the gated snare, which I don't know how familiar you are with that. I can't even fucking bother to explain it myself, but it was just like this really unique like tweak to a snare that made it sound just like you know the sound of 80s snare, just like super poppy, super reverberant. It's very it's very cool like what they got up to then, even if it didn't necessarily age the most gracefully.
Yeah, I will forever thank the 80s and 90s for the almond break.
Oh yeah. Well, see, that's the thing I really enjoy about like 80s and 90s music is like the evolution of sampling. Like I feel like not to denigrate what's happened in terms of sampling nowadays. Like I love JPEG Mafia and all that, but like I feel like back in like the 80s and 90s where there was a lot more of a loose a loose regard for like licensing for that sort of thing, until that got cracked down on legally. I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of inventiveness, like especially on albums like Paul's Boutique, 3 Miles High and Rising, or 3 Feet High and Rising, whichever the De La Soul one is. What was that? Tribe Called Quest album. I forget, but those early like forays into sampling just rejuvenated like the life into so many like old obscure records that you otherwise wouldn't really bother with. There was do you watch Polyphonic at all?
I actually don't. I definitely will
Actually,
need to add that to my list of
I don't know.
things to
I don't know if it.
watch.
I don't know if it was polyphonic or bandsplaining, but one of those guys recently did a video on what's called. Real quick. At least I'll know here if it was polyphonic or bandsplaining that posted the video. It was bandsplaining, and the genre is called library music. In that this was stuff that British, I think it was largely British composers produced in the 60s, 70s, 80s as like soundtracks for licensable soundtracks for TV, movies, anything broadcast media. And it's like this super funky, super layered, super like studio produced music that's really just sort of unique for the time, and definitely had like a long tail in terms of legacy. Sorry, I just sort of went on a huge ramble there, but it's just like, I don't know. I love like old sampling and the sort of creativity that goes in like plundering crates for like all these elements to make into something new.
Yeah. There was a funny story. I actually once knew a producer
Sure.
that actually like very much so hated the form of sampling that we have today.
Oh yeah.
Like to the point where like he refused to ever do any like sampling work when it came to any of his songs. He would like hand make his own almond break, or like if he saw something that interested him enough, he would not sample it. He would just sit there and spend days just recreating it from the ground up.
I mean, there is a certain charm to that too. Like the first ever like rap song, what was it? Rapper's Delight. It samples, quote unquote, the bass line from Cheek's Good Times, but really they just got a guy in there play the same bass line for fucking 10 minutes straight. Let's see. So, which instruments would you like to learn if you had the spare time for it?
Definitely guitar. I think that would probably help me out a lot with the kind of music that I want to make. But then again, at the same time, I'm also familiar with a bunch of producers that are willing to help me out in that regard. So like, I would rather like want to play it rather than actually need to play it for my own like production thing. I still do want to mess around with violins at some point, but I'm not too sure like specifically where in my area to get them just yet. That isn't just a music store that makes me low-key uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, violins, just trying to, it's weird to, I mean, like, they and guitars are but, the whole notion of having, like, a slide neck like that, I really did enjoy. I regret not being skilled enough to, be better at taking advantage of it.
I definitely feel that. I'm still kind of figuring out stuff when it comes to like piano stuff because I have a MIDI keyboard.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, couldn't I have at least gotten piano lessons? Those are relatively cheap.
Well, hey, if...
But no, I had to be difficult and ask for violin specifically.
Yeah. Well, hey, I think if you can find the right setup for it, I don't know necessarily how one-to-one the setup is, but there is a fan-made clone of the Rock Band games out there called Yarg, yet another rhythm game that I've played, and I think there's definitely if you're able to get yourself some like custom charts or whatever on there, you could start learning keys through that. Maybe I don't know. There's like
that definitely would be fun.
Yeah, the whole pro keys mode. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. When it comes to keys and whatnot, I will have to be thankful for a current program I have called Synthesizer V. The first iteration, not the current buggy second version that just released earlier this year. But it has a slider that can actively like let you know what key you're in. And then the program that I also have, my personal DAW, which is FL Studio, because FL Studio is FL Studio.
Yeah.
FL Studio has a feature where I can directly see what key I'm playing, and the specific note that I have tied down to that note. Note that I tied down to a note. Oh my god! But like a note tied down to a key.
You're good. I got you.
But yeah, FL has a feature that can let you tie notes down to keys that isn't just your standard C key. So like I can see what's my sharps, what's my flats. It even has a feature that can help you build chords in there, which is also very helpful. But right now I've just been very happy with my silly little B minor sustained chord that I'm using for the song I'm playing right now. Well, I'm making right now.
There you go. Yeah, baby steps. With the MIDI keyboard that I have, I only used it like basically once for like the covers I've made on my channel, and that was to plunk out the simple as shit bass line to Kiss's "Do You Love Me." Like otherwise, I haven't really experimented with the keyboard, which is a shame because it's just sort of sitting on my desk collecting dust.
Oh yeah. There's a good enough practice that I've been sort of trying as of late.
Oh yeah.
Which is to MIDI my own MIDIs to use for files to make covers. It's a very common practice in the Vocaloid community to share these sort of MIDI-like files that we call, VXQXs or VPRs or USTs. These are basic MIDI files that have song data saved on them. So they have, their lyrics fully put in. They have all their phonemes put in. And what you need for that, you need to start out with a MIDI. Now, there's definitely quite a few ways you can make MIDIs, as far as you're more than likely aware of that. But one way that the Vocaloid community tends to do this is they'll just put either a raw sample of, the voice that they want to use, or like the raw sample of the song they want to use of specifically the vocals, or they'll be madmen and use the entire song without ever hiding the instrumental at all. Which I don't even know how those mad dogs even do that. It genuinely confuses me.
Now that's maximalism.
Yeah, but from there, what people will do is they'll check what note and what key the person is singing in, as long as they have the right BPM. And from there, they just go ham and they they chart down the entire song in a single MIDI. And
there
then
you go.
from there they'll just import it into either, their chosen software, if it's like Utao, if it's Vocaloid, if it's Synthesizer V, if it's Chevio, if it's Voicona. There's a lot.
I see. And so doing it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, my personal favorite program to do this in is specifically Synth V, or Synthesizer V, because they have a program called the Aura plugin, which is spelled ARA. And if you have a raw vocal sample, as long as it doesn't have like any harmonies in it, it can extract the notes from that song specifically, as long as it has no harmonies in it, and as long as it's a raw sample. It can't be something like a stupid like little, I used AI to rip the vocals out of this, so I'm gonna put this into the ARA program, like plugin. That's not gonna work. You're just gonna get a jumbled mess.
How interesting. Hey, it was right there. I had to make the pun.
It was. I don't know how Synthesizer V decided naming their audio extraction plugin Aura. I still can't believe they did that.
Hey, they had no idea of knowing how obsessed we'd get over hags in the next few decades.
Yeah. And funnily enough, there's actually a Vocaloid version of, people wanting hags. But instead of hags, what they want is mature vocals.
Oh, see, yeah, I get that. I get behind that. You definitely need a husky, solid sound in your.
Yeah, like they want another like Luca, or they want another Mako, because Mako's another mature vocal. Though, in my opinion, Mako is the best Kryptonloid. I love Mako's voice so much.
Funny that they're clamoring for another Luca. It's like, your kids... It's like, I guess you guys weren't ready for that, but your kids are gonna love it, sort of stuff.
Yeah! Yeah, because, like, Luca's whole gimmick when she released was that she was not just programmed for Japanese. Because Krypton's voice banks are all programmed in Japanese. So their phonemes are set with, basic hiragana and katakana. Luca had the added aspect of also having English phonemes. So she was functionally bilingual.
That's
and
cool.
Was among... Yeah, no, it really was cool. She was among the first voice banks to have that English functionality. First it was the Vocaloid 1 voice banks, Leah and the other one.
It makes me wonder, have they, have fans, like, fan sort of rigged phonemes for the other Vocaloids too? Like, has somebody made an English pack for Miku?
So the thing is, I'm currently talking about, like, Vocaloid 2 specifically.
Okay.
In the later years, Krypton has released,
Richard G, welcome.
Krypton has released, English voice banks for Miku, Kaito, Mako, and the Kagamines.
Oh, okay.
The Kagamine's English is widely considered to be the worst voice bank of the Kryptonloid lineup. It's just, they're just bad. You can barely understand them. I do not know how Circus and Creepy were able to make Karma sound as good as they did with Rin English, but I don't know how. It's black magic.
Vber, but welcome, Deathy. Welcome.
Oh, hi, Deathy. Hi, Deathy. How you
take
doing?
it
How you doing?
Take it he's one of your regulars.
Yeah, that's Deathy.
Welcome.
But like Miku has 2 voice banks that are in English. Her V3 English and V4 English. You know, that operated in, you know, Vocaloid 3 and Vocaloid 4 respectively. Vocaloid 4 is her Vocaloid 4 voice bank is widely considered to be you know, the most accessible form of Miku English currently. I've not seen many like sale updates or anything like that for V3, but I know a lot of people love V3's English for her tone, because I'll be honest, never ever tuned an English song in Vocaloid, like in early Vocaloid. Their phonemes are so bad.
Yeah.
And that's specifically because I'm pretty sure current versions of programs like Chevio and Voicelana, as well as Synthesizer V, which, you know, gonna bring that up again, they use a phoneme dictionary set that's known as arpazing. And arpazing, you know, fucking slaps. It is very good. I love arpazing. You know, it just breaks down basic ways we say words into stuff like or like and
and it just
like
sort of puts like the phrases together from there.
Yeah. While in Vocaloid uses random ass syllables for their pronunciations, for their phonemes, just for English alone. Like, let's take how Vocaloid would pronounce the word la. Its use is a 4 and the @ symbol. That's its phoneme. And then like for Japanese U, which is, you know, pronounced oo, that's just using a capital M. Yeah, the phoneme system in Vocaloid it could be its own language.
Sounds like decoding like some sort of crypto message or whatever.
Exactly. Like, well, I was working on a cover recently because I'm working on a cover of the song "Melancholic" by Jimki. That there's a specific portion where I was like, wait a minute. What if I use a MIDI sample of another song I'm working on, like for a cover, which is Because the Night, Cascade's version. I brought it up to a server I'm in, and you know, we were all just chilling about like songs we liked. Keep in mind, this was not a Vocaloid server that I'm in, so they had no idea what I was about to do. So I go in, I type the lyrics of Because the Night in nothing but Vocaloid phoneme. And they just looked at me and went, V, what the actual fuck did you just do? Did you summon a demon or something?
Oh god, she's speaking in Windings.
As my partner would put it, she's speaking in Tiefling again. Can someone stop her?
Oh lord.
Yeah. I like to do that from time to time. It makes my day.
Yeah. So let's see. So have you gone to very many concerts in the past, like rock or Vocaloid or otherwise?
Not really. mainly because of the area I grew up in.
Right. Yeah.
Until I moved out, because I'm not too sure if you're familiar with this, but I was actually born and raised in Alaska. Where
Oh, wow.
travel so travel for like bands and whatnot is wickedly expensive because they have to go through specifically both either SeaTac or Portland.
Yeah.
And then they have to hit into Ted Stevens, which is in Anchorage.
Mm.
And then from there, they have to travel a whole like ton because the state is huge.
Yeah.
And it's just not practical for many bands and concerts like that to do that unless they're going to Palmer for the state fair.
Right, yeah.
And so like the only other concert that I remember that wasn't specifically Miku Expo was when I was in 8th grade. My mom decided to take me to a Pentatonics concert. Because they were playing at the state fair that year. Yeah. And the one thing I remember from that concert was that I got a shirt that was too small for me, and one of the guys in there that like said that they had a cabin in Homer. I was like, cool. This is stuff my mom would listen to. I did not like really care that much all for Pentatonics.
They were an acapella, right?
Yeah, they're the acapella
yeah.
group.
Yeah. I've heard of them before. I don't really listen to acapella that much, but I remember back when my friends in high school were obsessed with them.
Yeah. But now that I'm, in the lower 48, I'm no longer constrained to the travel shenanigans that bands have to put up with just to get to my state.
Right.
They can just drive to my state now.
Yeah.
And so I've been like looking at going to a whole lot more concerts. I'm currently waiting for the next Miku Expo concert announcement.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's going to be, but considering that I'm pretty sure Magical Mirai, which is Japan's version of Miku Expo, is about to happen, or like has already happened.
Oh, now that would be dope. Just flying over to Japan to see Miku.
God, Magical Mirai is an experience I want to go see one day. Like going to Miku Expo last year was really, really fun, and I would. And from what I understand, Magical Mirai is like Expo, but like 10 times.
Oh, hell yeah.
The effort, because everything's run by Krypton there. So like Krypton Future Media will use all the funds that they have just from all the versions that they've produced for Miku, for Rin, Len, Miko, Kaito, and Luca. As well as their systems, Pia Pro, and by an extension, I believe Sonic Wire, but I'm not quite too sure. And they'll just pour their hearts out into Magical Mirai.
So it's like the difference.
Miku Expo, it's kind of more difficult because it's.
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
Sorry. So it's kind of like the difference between essentially going to like see a HoloLive panel or like the HoloLive section in an anime con here versus directly flying out to HoloFest.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost exactly like that. Though with Miku Expo, since, it's overseas, what they'll do is they'll make it a whole tour instead of like assigning it one specific location. And so they'll go to a set amount of states and cities.
Oh, nice.
And they'll bring the same tech over.
Yeah.
And last year's was probably the most controversial.
I heard of that. The giant TV.
Yeah. There was so much more than just the giant TV that happened, because this was also the first year, last year was the first year that Crunchyroll also decided to help Krypton with the tours. Which widely considered it a major fuck up on Krypton for requesting Crunchyroll to help.
Oh, Crunchyroll.
So you'll have stories like what happened in Portland where they just have enough VIP like bags for stuff like that. Or infamous joke that happened in Vancouver that I'm not going to mention in on stream.
I'll have to look it up in my own time then.
Yeah. When I went to last year's Miku Expo, I went specifically to the Dallas one.
Okay.
I don't live anywhere near Texas, for reference, but I was meeting up with some friends.
I see.
That do live in Texas, and I was like, hey, Miku Expo tickets are pretty cheap, especially at the area that we were going to, which was the factory in Deep Ellum. And so we went, and all it costed me for the tickets was only about like $135.
I see.
And then the most expensive bit was definitely the flight down.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but if this year's happens anytime soon, I'm definitely going to the one closest to me. And I don't exactly feel like driving all the way up to Canada too. But
especially not at this time, jeez.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
It'll probably be something like either Portland or like San Diego.
Yeah. God, if Hololive ever comes back here with like a tour or whatever, I kind of regret, what was it? Back when they came through with their, I forget what the exact concert series was, but like this past year when they were on their whole, series of dates, I went to like this one local con, in the city, and I think they played a gig there, but also they had a gig at like this place that was literally like 15 minutes away from where I lived at the time. And I was kind of like, do I go see this concert, or do I just sort of save my money and, go to the con instead? I chose the con, but I don't know. Part of me regrets not seeing like, the full works. Because, oh my God, the theater that they chose, like, it's this like gorgeous historic like 19th century style sort of like grand theater. It would have been incredible to see like a virtual reality concert there. Oh, that sounds
pretty. Yeah, that sounds really pretty. I'll have to look at local like concert halls in my area or like the surrounding area.
Yeah.
Just in case stuff like Miku Expo or anything like that pops up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Again, like I heard Baby Metal's coming to. I heard like Baby Metal's coming to Seattle, so I might go see that.
The King's Theater, yeah. Actually, it was the King's Theater. Yeah, it was very, very gorgeous old theater. I think I saw actually Snarky Puppy there once, and they did like this entire set of like Latino American music. It was great. Sorry, what were you saying, V?
Ooh. I heard specifically Baby Metal's coming back on tour this year.
Oh,
and
neat.
one of the spots that they're going to is Seattle. So I'm like, I might just put in a little bit of money and go see that.
Hell yeah.
I'll be honest, even though Seattle's huge and it's such a massive city.
Yeah.
Like, it's so big compared to what I'm used to, because, like, I did not grow up in a big town.
Right,
especially since I grew up in Alaska, of all things. And Seattle's, like, 10 times the size of Anchorage.
Right, yeah.
If I recall correctly.
Nah, yeah, there's... And that's not that I live in fucking New York City, baby. I am used to the hustle and bustle at this point. It's basically ingrained in my DNA. I can
still
totally
gotta
get
get
the
used to
feeling.
it. Yeah, I still have to get used to city life. And it's been
Yeah.
like almost 3 years since I moved.
I mean, hey, all in due time. Let's see. You mind if I step away for a little bit and go use the bathroom? And we can
Yeah, go right
continue on
ahead.
with the second half of the stream. All right.
Hell yeah.
I will be right back. Let me pull this up. All right.
Wait a minute, was I not muted?
All right. And I am back.
Welcome back!
All right. Let me see. 1 second. So then, you've been a VTuber for at least a year now. Is that right?
Yep, just over a year.
I see. What inspired you to become a VTuber?
Mainly two things specifically. The biggest factor at the time when I did start was just pure unadulterated spite.
Oh,
at the
yeah.
time I was not doing well financially, and I needed a way to distract myself from the situation that I was in, because it was a pretty severe situation that I was able to bounce back from, thankfully, within a matter of a few months.
That's good.
But I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to slap together a V-Roid thing, and I'm just gonna play my favorite game at the moment, which is Risk of Rain 2. And well, it all just spiraled down from there. I haven't been streaming as much lately, just because I've either been very busy with my IRL job, just due to me getting a promotion,
hey, that's fair.
Or just like me being sick or anything like that. Like, I just recently got over COVID.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, that you had it, not that you got over it.
It is what it is. Oh, yeah. And then the other reason was that I've just always wanted to be a content creator, but
Okay.
I'm someone who's very, very like self-conscious IRL.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a VTuber much earlier, like around the time Hololive was starting to get big. I wanted to do something like that.
Yeah.
Because I was just really impressed with how they were able to do it. I've never really been someone interested in Hololive.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you gotta give it up for the OGs. They were the pioneers, at the very least.
Yeah. And I just really liked... I just like the concept a lot.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of ran with it once I finally had the tech, back in 2024.
Hell
Technically,
yeah.
I had it a little bit earlier, because when I moved down, my treat to myself was that I bought myself my proper PC that I still use to this day.
There you
Thing's a
go,
fucking
yeah.
powerhouse.
No, I also sort of did my VTuber. I got into VTubing as like sort of a treat to myself too. I literally bought the PC that I use from the money distributed in the COVID stimulus. That's literally what I spent my stimulus check on.
Ironically, I actually never got my stimulus at all.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It is what it is, and Alaska has a thing where every year, if you still are classified as a resident of Alaska, you get something called a personal fund dividend, where you get paid to live there, essentially. It's from an oil reserve that made way too much money in the 70s.
Right.
And then currently the governor up there just refuses to use it on anything but paying the residents. When in reality, the state is in like desperate need of repair.
Oh man.
But specifically, we would get like around 1,000 to 1 year we got 2,000. And then the year that I finally moved to the West Coast, that year we got a massive personal fund dividend that is to this day the largest PFD that the state has ever given out to residents. And that was $3,000. I already had $2,000 saved up, and so I moved down, comfortably into my, at the time, apartment, and then just built my PC from there, and then spent like a year debating on what I wanted like my concept to be. Because like as soon as I moved down, I was like, okay, you know what? This is it. I'm going to be a VTuber. I just don't know what I want to do yet. Like my first concept was like a witch's familiar that was also a butler.
I see.
And then another one was like a fairy of some sort, because at the time I was going by a different name that it's gonna sound really funny, but at the time I was going by Pixie Wanna Dixie.
That's clever.
And you know, I had a concept that would actually kind of mesh well with that name. But
Mhm.
nothing really came as close to fitting who I am as a whole than, who I am now as V. And I'm really happy to be V.
Well, there you go. That's I feel like that is when VTubing really starts to become fun, is when you have an idea of what you want to get out of it, of what you want to be going into it. I started off, I'm quite similar to what I do now, really, except I was a variety streamer that didn't know jack shit about how to actually stream. I was doing essentially the HoloLive thing of, going into it with, a weekly schedule and trying to play games and, do my own thing on the side, but it just was not working for me. I had to sort of force my way through it, but after like a few months, I just sort of burnt myself out and I was like, you know what? I enjoy editing VODs. Yeah, I enjoy the creativity process of making long-form videos. I'm gonna do that now.
Mhm.
And eventually I did get back into streaming my own way. These talk streams are a comfortable way for me to both catch up with my chat, meet new VTubers, and just shoot the shit and have fun.
Yeah. I personally will have to say I'm probably like the opposite. I cannot stand editing videos whatsoever.
No,
Like
see,
I've never been able to like sit down and actually like edit something for the life of me. The one time I tried, it was in DaVinci Resolve and it went horribly.
Oh no.
To the point where like it just crashed and removed my files.
Oh my god, how'd you manage that?
But I don't know. It's DaVinci magic.
Oh man.
But I really, really enjoy streaming games, and I love talking to people in general. Even though I have the social anxiety of a goldfish. So I love talking to people, and I love hanging out with like people when it comes to like games and hyperfixations that I love. Like Brain 2, I fucking love that game. And like, actually, I'm probably gonna end up streaming after this to play some Risk of Rain 2.
Oh hell yeah, right on.
I love the game because I love the game that much. I'm trying to unlock Seeker's new utility skill that just released.
There you go.
But with my severe social anxiety, it means I just struggle a lot to reach out to people and go like, hey, do you want to collab? Or like, hey, do you want to hang out and like do something and whatnot?
No, I definitely relate to that.
Or the many times I've tried to involve myself in groups and watch it implode in front of me. I've only done this for a year and I'm already kind of done with that.
Oh jeez. Yeah, there's VTubers can be messy bitches, and that has been borne out especially harshly over these past few weeks.
Oh god, yeah, no, I saw, last month's current set of dramas, and I was like, oh my fucking god. I'm so glad I'm nowhere near that catty. And I'm a cat VTuber. I know I don't look like it. I'm a cat VTuber.
I mean, hey, same. Let me see. So you mentioned, playing games on stream. Do you have a particular favorite, like, game OST?
In terms of OSTs, I like a lot of genres.
Oh yeah.
I will say I'm particularly partial to both Risk of Rain 2's OST of like prog rock. Which is so good. I love Risk of Rain 2's OST. Definitely recommend giving it a listen.
I ought to check that game out. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
It's very, very good. And I also really happen to like Sonic Rider Zero Gravity's OST.
Oh, hell yeah. They love Sonic
Like-
soundtracks.
Yeah. And another OST I really like is from another Sonic game, specifically Sonic Rush.
Oh, yeah.
Someone in the server that I help admin for, Vocalo, no, it's Cat Nation.
Yeah.
Which is run by Vocalo Cat, who's, well known for Affection Addiction, Self-Proclaimed Angel, and Pull the Trigger, which that one was actually sung by a relatively popular VTuber by the name of Yuna Unagi. One of the former Idol girlies.
Oh, I see. Unfortunately, I'm not that familiar with like the Idol roster. Outside of Rin Pemrose, maybe. I've heard of her. She's pretty cool people.
Rin is very, very good. She's probably like one of the only few like bigger VTubers I watch.
Oh yeah.
And it's not to say that like bigger VTubers aren't fun to watch. It's just that a lot of the time, to me, they just give off the same kind of energy.
I feel like.
And.
Yeah. I feel like especially
I would
nowadays. Sorry, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off here.
and I kind of want more content similar to like the vibes of like variety content from something like Oz Media or Russian Badger. I love this to death.
I see. Yeah, no,
rather than like go like, oh my goodness, like
yeah.
How are you doing today, you little maggots, or something like that?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed VTubing when it's like the high energy, chaotic gremlinness of it all, like really taking advantage of the anonymity of a VTuber avatar to just do the most unhinged, not harmful shit, but unhinged nonetheless.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you there. And in some cases, if you talk to my community about it, which my community is very small.
Yeah.
But they'll tell you I'm best known for either spraying Pam in my face or being bad at Portal 2.
Oh god, that's awesome. Sonic Rush's OST is peak. Really cool use of sound. Oh yeah, no, like Hideki Naganuma really fucking cooked there.
It's so good, and it's a shame that he wasn't able to make more songs for the Sonic franchise because his songs are really unique. Because he was the composer for Jet Set Radio as well.
Right.
I love Jet Set Radio.
And now he's a resident Twitter funny man.
Yup. Along with Hideo Kojima.
Yeah. It's him, it's Kamiya, it's Kojima. Japanese game, well, I wouldn't call Naganuma a dev, but people involved in Japanese games are really fucking oddballs sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's see, what were we talking about before that? I thought I had a point, but I completely lost it.
I think you were talking about like game OSTs and whatnot.
No,
I went off topic.
Yeah. I don't know. If it'll come back to me, it'll come back to me. Do you enjoy any rhythm games? Like, do you play any of the Vocaloid rhythm games? Have you done that on stream at all?
Yes, actually. My chat knows that I am horribly addicted to Project Diva. I love Project Diva. It's so good. And it's so easy to mod it as well. So my copy is a modded version of Project Diva because that just allows me to have a ton of extra modules for Project Diva. Though I don't have the best hand dexterity at all. Like, it's good for art and whatnot. It is not built for first-person shooters or like rhythm games at all.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll always like play on normal difficulty and then like get like a 70 or so percent because, you know, my hand dexterity is just not great enough to fully get into the other difficulties. However, I know quite a few people who have been able to perfect the extra extreme difficulties. And I commend them for their
Hell yeah.
for their work. It's just so many buttons, so many. Especially since Project Diva isn't built for like just basic button pressing.
Oh yeah.
This it is built using your whole controller in mind. You do not play this on a keyboard or you will get carpal tunnel very easily. Never play on a keyboard.
Yeah, I am just like, I have the exact same reaction whenever I watch like top level Guitar Hero or Rock Band players. Like there's this one dude I particularly have been following lately, Asai. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's just like absurdly good at like 5-fret rhythm games. And it kind of inspired me. Well, actually, I don't know if it's like a chicken and the egg situation here, because like earlier this year, I bought myself like one of the newer guitar peripherals released. I think it's called the PDP Riffmaster, and it's been treating me really good. I've just been playing a bunch of like I mentioned earlier, that fan-made Rock Band clone Yarg. I've been playing a lot of that with it, and it's just been like. There is so much dexterity involved, especially like playing at a high level when it's just like vomiting Skittles on like a chart coming at you. It's it's crazy.
Yeah, I actually happen to have like one of my mods in my Discord and as one of my Twitch mods.
Yeah.
Who loves Guitar Hero.
Oh hell
He's totally addicted to it. He hasn't showed me a lot of his clips, but that's just because he has the unfortunate condition of being British, and he's been addicted to Balatro ever since I gifted it to him.
Oh boy, see, I've heard great things about Balatro. You know, I'm a big roguelike guy myself. You know, I love The Binding of Isaac. I love Crypta the Necrodancer, but I just, I mean, I don't know. I've never been much of a card game guy, is the thing. And just the whole aesthetic of it being built around, like, cards, I don't know, you know?
I will say, as someone who is, like, who loves to play Balatro, Balatro plays kind of like a deck builder, almost. I wouldn't say it's... I wouldn't necessarily like connect it to any like other game.
I
but, like,
see.
If you're familiar with something like Slay the Spire,
Okay.
it's kind of got a similar feel to that, except your enemies are the blinds specifically, and you just have to build the strongest hand. If you don't, you die, and you have to restart. It's not bad at all. I love the game flow, but personally, I'm just biased towards Risk of Rain 2 because Risk of Rain 2 is just addicting.
Yeah.
And for it being a 2020 game, it's probably like one of the most popular roguelites right now, just because it garnered a lot of attention from DLCs to DLC 2's let's just say fun release.
Oh yeah.
It left the game virtually unplayable, and Gearbox, who are the current devs of Risk of Rain 2, had to sit down with multiple critical YouTube content creators that work with Risk of Rain 2 just to be able to make Risk of Rain 2 in the state that it currently is now, which is a very good state. And
it's good that they reached out to the community at least.
Yeah, they reached out to the community to make sure that they could fix what happened with Secrets of the Storms, like
yeah.
day one patch. I don't blame anyone who did not want to play Risk of Rain 2 after the release of Secrets of the Storm.
Yeah.
I didn't play until the first bug patch came out, and that was like 2-3 days after it released. But, you know, now DLC is actually on the way, and from the sounds of it, things are looking very, very good for DLC 3, considering that from recent updates from Risk of Rain 2 content creators like Disputed Origin and Slop Needs Help, they were actually involved with like playtesting DLC 3, which is called Alloyed Collective, and they had nothing but like good things to say about it.
Well, that's cool. I hope you're looking forward to that. I ought to check the games out at some point.
Oh yeah, and, I'm so excited for it.
And KCJC, to your other point, it's I wish more games. I mean, I feel like more games nowadays are going for like more naturalistic soundtracks, like, you know, recording with orchestras and like live bands or whatever, and not so much like indulging in like sampling as heavy as it used to. There's this really cool video that I remember watching a while back by Toffee Bun called Sampling in Video Game Music. You know, look that up on your own time if you want. And it was just like this entire video going into how not only did these composers back then, you know, craft their own sound fonts or what have you, but they also used like all of these different like sample discs back in the 90s to insert like, you know, screams or, you know, car sounds or other sorts of like, you know, sampled noises that, you know, you can trace back if you're willing to like do enough digging. It's fascinating stuff. Fascinating history. Let me see. So do you have any particular like dream goals or collabs as a VTuber that you want to fulfill?
As for like collabs, I personally would love to, like, as a dream, I would love to run a sort of Risk of Rain 2 tournament where the funds of that can go to charities like the Trevor Project or Asan.
That would be very fun. You know, it's always nice to bring community together for a good cause.
Yeah, I would have to sit down and actually think about that one though. And then as for like personal content, I'm actually currently working on like Vocaloid workshops.
Oh, okay.
So that people can actually sit down and understand how Vocaloid works specifically, all while being told how it runs through the lens of, well, the Chimera with 27 registered girl fails.
That's cool. And will that be like a live stream sort of series?
Actually, no. It's something that I'm planning to actually be like an editing, edited, scripted thing for YouTube.
Okay. Best of luck on that.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you know, I would love to get my original song fully finished and released. Yeah. Maybe making an EP or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Do you are you thinking of staying exclusively on YouTube, or do you want to branch out to like other streaming platforms too?
Oh, well, I actually stream on Twitch. I
mean talking about like music streaming, not live streaming.
Oh. I mean, maybe. I'd have to take a look at my options for like distributors.
Yeah,
because like I'm not quite too sure I'm comfortable with using something like DistroKid.
Yeah. No, a lot of those companies are shady.
Like I've heard good things about Sounddrop. Again, I'm just more so critical about DistroKid because of how they treated Crusher's song Echo and Again, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. No, I think they had a bunch of layoffs recently, and that they've been getting a bunch of shit for that, rightly so.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Other than that, the only other thing I kind of want to focus on is like my official debut, because currently I use a more edited form of my original like Vroid model, but
Right.
I actually have pieces in place to get started on an actual proper debut, in which I've always told myself that once I debut, I'm probably going to multi-stream.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's still the case. I still need to figure out how to do that, though.
Yeah. No, I've been thinking of doing that myself. I mean, I have a Twitch account that I use sometimes to go over and say hi to like Twitch exclusive VTubers, but I never use it for anything. I'd like to. Maybe I should establish a presence on Twitch, but I don't know. Other than like these streams, I don't really have much of a live streaming presence,
Yeah, that's completely understandable. For me, I'm kind of the opposite. I only have a streaming sort of presence.
Yeah.
I don't really have much other like content unless it's like my Vocaloid covers, which to an extent, if I want to continue on as a VTuber, those do eventually have to go off my channel so that I don't get stuff like copyright strikes.
Yeah.
Which I am kind of sad about, because
it's unfortunate.
Because like my newer ones are performing really well, first, the one that I mentioned a while back ago, that one's about to hit 600 views, which would make it like my third most viewed cover
hell yeah,
ever.
Congrats.
Which I'm really excited about. I can't wait for it to surpass my current biggest cover. But at the same time, I also kind of want to focus on, gathering my assets for a debut. But
yeah.
No,
there's definitely a lot of work that goes into a debut and making sure it goes smoothly. I was late to my debut because I accidentally forgot to hit go live and delivered my entire fucking PowerPoint presentation to myself.
Oh no! That kind of reminds me of like my first stream ever. I forgot to unmute for 30 minutes.
Oh my god. Yeah, no,
30 whole minutes.
That was probably the first sign to me that I probably shouldn't have chosen streaming as my VTuber career of choice. But alas.
For me currently, streaming is honestly so fun. I just love sitting there and just yap while I play a game, or like see my chat react to something stupid that I do.
No, there's definitely something to be said about getting a community who will live react to you doing goofy shit.
Yeah, I love it to death, and now that I actually have stuff like a VR headset, I'm probably gonna start doing stuff like just chatting streams where like I'm chatting in VR in like a random world.
Hell
and then like I'll like talk about just random stuff. Like tomorrow's stream for me personally, since I'm also going back to regular streaming after this, is like I'm gonna sit down and I'm just gonna rant about like retail stories because I work in retail. And I want to see what my community thinks about retail and whatnot. I've already got some funny stories, to say the least, on
those
my
sorts
end.
Of streams are always fun. Yeah.
Yeah, they're always really fun.
So let's see here. I think I've just about asked all my questions here. My final one, and I usually like to save this for the end. The world has been going to shit in the past few months, and as we enter more and more stressful times, something I've been wondering of my guests is, what sort of music do they turn to in times of stress? Like, are you a more do you seek catharsis more? Do you like to be in your feelings? Like,
I definitely go for more emotional tracks specifically.
mhm,
My go-to one to listen to if I'm really wanting to feel something, or like if I just need something like that to match my mood, the song I
mhm.
turn to is specifically Debris by Political.
Ah, I see. I don't
And
think I've heard of
it's
that
a
one, but
shoegaze song.
oh, okay.
It's a relatively small song, but it's probably my favorite instance of the shoegaze genre in general.
Mm.
I'll have to send it to you after
Yeah,
this,
no,
actually.
definitely, go right ahead. I need to listen to more shoegaze personally. I mean, I'm only really familiar with My Bloody Valentine and who's the actually no, I really enjoy Lush. Do you know Lush at all?
I don't think I do. Actually, I'll have to give that one a shot. I only
Yeah,
just recently discovered
they
shoegaze.
Lush is great. We got like a few songs of theirs that I was nostalgic for in Rock Band, and then I listened to a few of their other albums after that, and it's pretty decent. They had a good run in the '90s. Um,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it for our time here. Is there anything you'd like to talk about? Anything you'd like to bring up?
Uh, Not really off the top of my head, if I'm gonna be honest.
Okay,
I'm kind of just like,
no problem,
kinda
no
like-
problem.
I'm I can't even speak.
You're good. You're good.
But my head's kind of fuzzy just from like a little bit of hunger, so I might go eat before I boot up Risk of Rain 2.
No, that
and
is totally fair.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do the same
That's-
too, I think.
that's about it.
Thank you so much, for joining me today, V Mayhem. Where can people best find you? Would you like me to link your Twitch, your YouTube, or?
Ooh, yes. So for streaming purposes at the moment, you can definitely find me over at twitch.tv/vmayhem. No caps, no space. It's just V Mayhem. And then on Blue Sky, you can find me at vmayhem.bsky.social. And then on YouTube, you can find me, at vmayhemvt. And then that's about it. I have other social platforms that I'm not really that active in, but that's
Yeah.
just because social anxiety gives me anxiety.
That's absolutely fair. That is, it's hard to keep track of all your different profiles across the web. Let me see if I can redirect
that's why I
anybody
have
here.
help.
Don't really have any friends live at the moment. I mean, I could raid into Maidmint or Matarakan, but I don't know. I feel like a gnat flying into a sea of something.
That would be like that would be like flying into like the Meridian or something like that.
I don't know.
Meridian? Mediterranean.
Yeah. So I think I'm just gonna leave things off here. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I had a great time speaking with V here, and I hope you all are encouraged to go check her out, because she seems like cool people. Otherwise, though, I hope you're all looking forward to hopefully more news soon about the second Glam Metal Deep Dive. Once I have some food in me, I'll be working a bit more on that tonight, and hopefully I'll have some news for y'all tomorrow. But until then, I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye! Bye-bye!